Popping baits, one of my favorite post-spawn topwater selections. Welcome back to the Googan Lab. We're outside today talking about the blooper. Popping baits are really effective when bass are up in shallow water or anytime you have clear water and you want to fish a topwater bait slow. Popping bait is the way to go. So this blooper right here, it's got a hollow nose to it, and that hollow nose is going to push a lot of water and make a bloop sound, hence the name, the blooper, in the water. Now the great thing about it is it'll just sit there and float, and you can just leave that bait in place for a long period of time. Some people, when the bass are on spawning, like if they're on beds, you can literally hover it right over their bed and they'll come up and eat it. But when they start guarding fry, which is after they spawn and they have little bitty babies swimming around the banks, this is the best time to throw this. But it's good in other times of the year, but that's my favorite. Let's talk about gear. The gear you're going to want to throw this on, you need a floating line. Monofilament, or you can do braid, but I really like to throw monofilament because it's clearer, and especially if you're letting that bait sit there for a long period of time, that bass is going to focus on that bait. You don't want them seeing any of the line around there. And one thing special that you do have to do when throwing this blooper right here is you want to tie some sort of loop knot up front. If you want to check out how to tie loop knots, you can see our videos on the Googan Lab here. But so the reason there's no split ring on the front of this is because that's going to weight down the front of the bait. So it's more effective to not have a split ring and just tie a loop knot to the front of it. I'm using 14-pound monofilament here, and I'm using a medium power fast action rod. This is the Twitch rod, and it is designed for this. Jerk baits and topwater baits like this. And for a topwater rod, you want something a little shorter than 7 foot that you can work with the rod tip down and keep that bait just bloop, bloop, hitting that water good and not skipping over the top. You always want to keep your rod tip down just to get maximum bloop sound. Okay. Bloop, bloop, bloop. The cadence when throwing the blooper, you can mix it up, but I like to twitch it a couple times, maybe 1-2 times, pause, 3 or 4 seconds, a few more times, let it sit. And 90% of the time they're gonna hit it when it's just sitting there. You'll be surprised for a bait that's sitting there a long time, the bass, they'll just get aggravated with it. If you know that fish are in a little grass patch or sitting on a point and they're just finicky, they're not hitting like a buzz toad, a buzz bait, something loud and aggressive like that, switch up to a blooper. I think you're gonna find you'll catch a few more fish that way. Smacked it, just had it sitting there. Couldn't withstand the slow method. That's a good one. Come here, buddy. Big mouth. There we go. Woo! That is fun right there, y'all. And that's the beauty of fishing a popping bait like the blooper. You just let it sit there. You know, I saw that fish boil on it, and they can't stand it. It's just sitting above their head. Just work it slow, and a lot of times you'll get those fish that maybe just swirl on it. Just keep working it slowly, and it just agitates them. You want to have some fun fishing the topwater bait slow? The blooper is the one. So thanks for tuning in. If you want to see more tips, you know what to do. Subscribe right here to the Googan Lab.